All right, so in today's session, we're going to go ahead and continue answering some of the questions that you guys may have or you guys have asked here in the community. All right, so we already covered Carl, Chris, looking at Steve Orphano. So Steve, what's going on, my man? Shout out to Steve. He asked, what goals are you trying to achieve in the next 12 months in your real estate investing efforts? Flipping enough deals to make 100K. Okay. So if we're trying to net 100K, um, we got to think about reverse engineering what the numbers look like, right? So it's also about figuring out what your lead generation source is and what is it going to take. So a good sustainable wholesale business should be operating at about 50% net profit margin after overhead and after marketing and after software and all that stuff. With that said, you need to essentially think about first and foremost what your marketing lead source is, because that's going to be a big chunk of your expenses. 100K is very doable. Honestly, I think you would want to do more than that. And depending on the market that you're in, right? Depending on the market that you're in. So it's not that many deals. I mean, let's say if you're doing 10K a deal, which is kind of on the low side, then that would be 10 deals a month. Then you have to backtrack that as to how many leads, conversations you need to have. All right. So that was Steve Orphanos. Let me know in the community, Steve, kind of what you are doing right now. Give me a little bit more context. Then we've got Terry Weissnant. What's up, Terry? Let's see. I got Marvin here as well. We'll get to you, Marvin. So what goals are you trying to achieve in the next 12 months in your real estate? He says, or she says, stop 9 to 5, more time, more freedom, more money, just starting, knowledge. Okay, that's pretty basic. Let's go ahead and bring Mr. Marvin in and see what he's got going on. Promote, I guess. Allow to talk. Right. Sure. What's up, Marvin? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Where are you calling from, brother?
I'm in DC.
Okay. And how's it going over there?
It's good. It's good.
Nice. Nice. What can I help you with, man?
Um, I guess something that came up today. So we operate from North Carolina up to New York. And I was doing some training with our lead manager who's going to start doing some of our comps or just training them up on that. And found while going through that one of the properties we currently had under contract recently sold. So we had already engaged an attorney to make these sellers aware that they had a legally binding contract with us. They had signed an affidavit of contract, which we had recorded. Unfortunately, the dates didn't line up as you would have liked, where the affidavit got recorded after the actual closing. So I don't know if you've even countered that before. And if you did, what did you do? We've dealt with it once before, and we're actually ironically in the middle of getting compensated for signing a release to the title insurer who gave this person title insurance. Obviously, it's early days. I don't know if this was done kind of kitchen table closing without any title insurance or what was going on, but I figured I would pose the question.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. So, um, you're saying that the memorandum got filed at the county after they had closed?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've never had that particular situation. The
Okay.
issue with that is that it already closed. So like even if a title, and I'm not an attorney, right? This is not
Yep.
legal advice, just
Yep.
sharing my experience, but um even if the title insurance company repulled title commitment when they close, your
Yep.
memorandum would still
Not show. Yep.
not showing up. That's one thing. So then, the question is like, who's got my money for this failure to comply or whatever, then you would think it'd be the seller, but he's already gone. You really don't have any leverage at that point. What I've had happen is we have had people close around our memos,
Yeah.
but then when the flipper or the investor resells with like conventional financing or
Yep.
FHA, they
Yep.
end up pulling that up.
Yep.
Um, that's experience that I've had firsthand.
Yeah.
A lot of times with these memos, I'll share with you a story that just happened recently. A lot of times, like, is your company filed to do business in both states?
Yeah. We're filed to do business in all the states we operate in. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's something that maybe miss a lot of time with like virtual people because
Mhm.
essentially, you're not really taking title
Yeah.
a lot of times. But yeah, no, I mean, in that instance, I don't know how much teeth
Yeah.
you got. It's one of those things that you are showing up on the county records. It's really up to whoever offers the title insurance later on to be like, I'm okay taking this risk or not.
And that's
So
what we've got to, yeah, because the situation, which is a newer one for us, has been ongoing now for about 6 months. We had filed, so this is another situation. We had filed an affidavit or a memorandum of contract and notice of interest. A flipper went ahead and purchased the property around that, even though that was recorded months in advance.
yeah.
Uh, then we ended up getting one of our attorneys that handles title cases to file a demand letter against the title insurer.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't go to the seller, we didn't go to the buyer, we went to the title insurer. And we were able to make headway with them. We're going to get paid here soon by going after them.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to file suit and do any of that. Obviously, on this one, it's the one, I brought the question about. I don't know if they had title insurance, but if they did, then the seller had to sign an affidavit acknowledging that they did not have, that there's no liens or any encumbrances via mechanics or anything else, or there's anything that wouldn't cloud title that they've done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that instance, my thought is that we could go after a seller for fraud and loop in the title insurer because they had fraud against them as well.
I mean,
Uh,
are we talking like a big spread or something here? Because I mean, that's a lot of trouble, I would think. You know.
it's not, I mean, it's not a big spread. I think we're looking at like 30 grand, but for us, like this is not too big of a difference in terms of what we have to encounter regularly in terms of our attorney skill set.
Mhm.
So essentially would just be a demand letter to the seller, which, would cost us like $400, and then to inform the title insurer if they did it, which would be, half an hour of paralegal's time, and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had that situation.
Yeah.
To me, those memorandum litigation situations are kind of on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, this
in
is this
yeah,
wasn't a memo. This was an actual affidavit.
okay. I kind of use well, we do affidavits of memorandum, so I really don't
Yeah.
know kind of differences in my world.
Yeah.
Um, but with that said, man, I mean, if you think it's worth the energy, the risk of going after that, then sure. Ultimately, I always try to ask myself, what if we stand in front of a jury or something, and typically investors are frowned upon by everybody else.
Yeah.
So you always gotta think about kind of the worst consequence.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of contract fall through. Like, what's your typical contract fall through rate with your sellers?
Probably less than 15%.
Oh, that's not bad. I mean, that's like really, really good.
Yeah,
Uh,
unfortunately for us, we've as of late, I think we're probably creeping up into that 20-ish% range. The thing is, like, um, we've gone through a lot of different things, and therefore, like, we just have the attorney resources to kind of just look at this a little bit in terms of a different lens. And I think sometimes we get stuck in because we have the experience, we're okay going down it, and sometimes we don't ask ourselves the question that you just pose: is this worth the time and effort? So that's something that we may need to adjust internally, questioning that, is it worth it?
yeah, I mean, what you want to be careful is not, you know. not self-inflict a countersuit for,
Mhm.
because if you're in the right, you're in the right. But a lot of times it's like the amount of effort and
Yeah.
attorney hours. Is there really money down the line?
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Like, is there really money down the line to recoup? Kind of like a personal injury lawyer. Like
Yeah.
personal injury lawyers, they make money out of the insurance company, not about, they can make money out of a bum
Yeah.
that has been broke his entire life but got ran over by,
Yep.
you a Brinks truck.
Yeah.
So, he can really make money out of the insurance of the Brinks truck, not necessarily the drunk guy
Yeah.
that the person ran over. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of like my experience with it.
Yeah.
But no, that's a very particular case there. Yeah, you could go like against front, but I don't know how that litigation, would look like, and who would pay for that. Last minute, the end buyer will say, well, I just want my earnest money back and I'll find another property.
Yeah. Yep.
It's one of those things, kind of tricky. So you're in the northeast section of the country. Got it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, that's interesting. Anything else I can do for you?
No, that's it.
Cool, man. Cool. You've been digging into some of the content in the library at all? Anything in particular that stands out?
I have not dug into the content yet. I wanted to hop on these and kind of get a feel for everything. I've honestly just been have not had the time just yet, or not made it a priority quite
Yeah,
yet.
well, it sounds like you guys are, established, so getting some good deal flow. 15 to 20% is really good in terms of, percentage of contract fall through.
Yeah.
Uh, um, I was asking because a lot of times when I hear people have a lot of contract fall through, is
Mhm.
maybe they're not post closing. They're not having, after the signatures come in, they're not having a post close conversation like, hey, you're not going to change your mind,
Mhm.
right? And so that sometimes helps, but it sounds like you guys have a good rate there.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we are doing. We'd love to get your thoughts on it after um acquisition gets go through, get it everything signed. Our goal is to have our transaction coordinator call them within an hour to introduce themselves, let them know what the next stage looks like, takes them through all that, and lets them know, hey, like this is immediately what's going to be happening in the next X number of days. This is what your expectation is in a week out, and then I'll follow up with you in about a week, and kind of does that. Like that's what we do. I don't know, where could we improve on that, or
No, that
just
sounds good. I mean, we kind of do similar, as soon as contract comes in, the coordinator, the acquisition manager lets them know, like, hey, we have closers and coordinators. So the
Mhm.
closer's getting the contract, they post close. Listen, you're not going to change your mind tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then the coordinator, yeah, the goal is to give them a call, same day.
Mhm.
Even on weekends, we got, a weekend coordinator.
Mhm.
And so the idea is to always not let them kind of wonder
Yeah.
what's happening next for sure. You don't want to do that because these people are very erratic. It's like chasing squirrels,
Yep.
have their life together. So you definitely don't want to leave them hanging.
Yeah.
That cool, man. Well, I appreciate you hopping in. I got Caesar next.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, brother. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right, Mr.
All right.
Cesar, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. What's going on with you? What can we help
Um,
with? Yeah, I'm gonna start bringing you guys on like with video or something because it's kind of lonely. Yeah, but go ahead, man. What you got?
yeah, I got right now I got nothing really right now.
Nothing what? Nothing pending right now? Hello? I think you got muted. There you go. I think you're muted, Caesar. Sorry. There you go. Now it should work. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. The yeah, I can't undo the video, but yeah, right now I really got nothing. I'm just I've been running nationwide, so I'm gonna start asking some of the states, bring it narrow it down some.
Yeah, doubling down on which ones work.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna start getting rid of some.
Okay. About so you're running this solo, right? You don't have a VA or anybody helping you out?
No, it's just me right now.
Okay. So do you have like a system that's booking appointments for you, or how are you managing the leads that you got coming in?
Me, everything manual. I don't have no system or nothing yet.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Got it. Well, I'll be rolling out our CRM here. I'm doing some final tests. Because we're getting a lot of follow-up contracts in this market, like a lot.
Uh,
So, a lot of them like never answered for 4 or 5 months ago, and all of a sudden they're coming out of the woodwork. Hey, I want to make a deal. We're seeing a little bit of a slower move on our listings. Um, Obviously it's gonna vary by market. So I think, the economy slash election has a little bit of uneasiness to most people. Um, but essentially I'll show you guys real quick kind of what stages, we take our sellers through. So yeah, essentially when we get a new lead, once they come in, they start getting followed up with aggressively just to book a call. Like always, the goal is to have them book a call, move over to cash out consultation. And so, we're getting a lot of newer book calls from old leads and then moving those over back to reject. We always make an offer. So if you go to the Bentley script, what we call a non-lay down, we always want to give them a lower number if they're not a lay down. And so we always put them through the ringer on offer rejected, meaning we ask them to counter after we anchor them. We don't just give up when they're priced listing price or retail price and all that stuff. Or obviously if they no show, we have a horrible show rate. People don't pick up the phone a lot of times, so just expect that to be the case. But start thinking, even if you're doing it manually, start thinking about what your follow-up process is where I'm going with this, in terms of making sure that you get your dollars out of your marketing. Because if you're kind of doing it manual, it's probably hard to keep up with everything. So just make sure that you have some sort of protocol so that you call, any leads that you have in your pipeline every month or every 6 months. I mean, we follow up with them until they say they've sold or don't contact me. And even if they say don't contact me, it depends on where they said don't contact me, Does that make sense?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm just using something like what you have there. I'm using Trello right now. Is what I'm using.
yeah. Yeah. It's simple is fine. Just make sure that you're actually doing the follow-up, because I mean, when did you start marketing?
A couple months ago.
Okay.
Now, off and on. I did it like in the winter time, then I went back to work, and so I've been off and on.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely, you know, make sure that you have some sort of protocol, even if it's a Trello board with different tasks or whatever, because a lot of people that just plainly did not pick up, they will eventually pick up if they haven't sold and do have an interest, in selling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm constantly following up with them.
That's cool, man. That's cool, brother. All right. Well, I don't think we have any other questions. I see here. That's pretty much it in terms of the Q&A for today. Yep, I don't have anything else. Cool. Well, I'll let you guys go. I've got a tennis playing day with my daughter, so I'll hop off and go to that.
All right, cool. Thanks.
All right, y'all talk later. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.